Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at 360 Vegas Studios with Trooper Wellman for this edition of Trooper Talk. And this is very exciting. We have the new logo up there. I don't know. I guess people can respond to Trooper Talk and tell people, on the contact form if they like it or not. Work with us. Well, we certainly know that Las Vegas has enough of these guys driving around.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, these cones. These cones, no one knows what's going on. I was driving this morning, and they have the big things, and you have to turn this way and go in between the six. I mean, the thing is this. I've seen those barricade companies, and you have a guy in the back of the truck, and he's sitting there while that truck is going 30 miles an hour, and the guy that's driving is trying to drive in a straight line, and he drops this thing out.
Mm-hmm. It's impressive.
But they're always good. Like, they don't do bad jobs. Like, you know what I'm saying? The reason they do bad jobs is because some person decides that they want to hit that with their mirror or their car because they're not paying attention, and then it scoots into the middle of the lane.
Mm-hmm. Whenever, through my experience, that I have stopped somebody for speeding in a construction zone, usually their first thing is, I didn't know I was in a construction zone. And I'm not trying to be like a smart aleck, but it's kind of like, look around. Do you see all those orange cones? So if you are driving and you see orange cones, I would suggest that you start looking for a speed sign, because every construction zone is different. It could be 55, it could be 45, it could be 35. Just start looking for a sign, because that is the posted speed limit. And if you get stopped in a construction zone, it's actually double the penalty. And the penalty is that way for that reason, because lives are on the line. People are out there risking their lives to work on the side of the road, to better our communities, our roadways. What they're doing out there is for a reason. They're not just out there to cause inconvenience. So please slow down in work zones. Far too many people are injured, as well as, like you said, strike these cones, which cause more chaos because people don't know where to go. They're looking for the pattern and you can't find it because there's cones everywhere. But if you see the orange cones, slow down and start looking for a speed sign, because that means most likely the speed limit changed.
Yeah, and the thing that I notice is that when I go for the drive up on that 215, where they have that ridiculous bump, the guy must have not been doing his job. I mean, they have a huge bump, You focus on the cones and you drive towards the cones. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah.
And so you really have to pay attention, which is what I noticed, because when they have all those cones, it's very easy to lose, where you're. Like, even if you're over here and the cones are over here, I actually try to travel in the lane furthest away from the cones so I don't have that add blindness.
Mm-hmm. I was just working Saturday night after the Hometown Heroes, and Sergeant Broadcheck, I heard him get dispatched to the same area twice within 30 minutes because the cones got messed up because somebody on purpose drove through them thinking it was funny. And, what they don't understand is, yeah, that's haha at the moment, but you could seriously cause someone to swerve and get, startled. They slam on their brakes, they get rear-ended, they could swerve and crash into a wall. Like, there's so many different scenarios. Those cones are there for a reason, to prevent injury from happening, to prevent any fatalities from happening. So please, it's not funny. And again, the most common we see is the wind. The wind will blow the cones.
Yeah, of course.
But Department of Transportation, they're on it. They get out there very quick and they reset up those cones for people's safety, because you don't even know. What if there's a big hole in the ground? And that's why those cones are in place. So if you drive through it, you're going to, sustain some serious injuries or possibly damage your car. So just drive with caution.
That's why I try to stay as far away from those cones as humanly possible.
Yeah, there's a reason those cones are there.
Yeah, there's a reason. And if you see those guys on the side of the road, move over law.
Absolutely. Please slow down and move over if possible.
Did you know it's Donate Life Month?
Yes, today's National Blue and Green Day.
It is? Let's fix that. honor.
Anyway, tell us what Blue and Green Day.
Well, you know that April is Donate Life Month, and not only do we play a big role in spreading awareness as our agency, because Nevada Donor Network is one of our community partners, but you know, I take advantage of really highlighting Trooper Micah May and the sacrifice that he gave to our community, but also that he donated, 4 organs to 3 recipients. And so I take advantage of this month to really highlight him and what he did and the impact it had and how it communicated to our agency and really opened a lot of our eyes. Like, on my way here, I literally just got a text message from one of our retired troopers that he is in San Diego and he's been waiting for a heart transplant for weeks. And he had to medically retire because of his heart. And his wife has been keeping us up to date, and he got the donation this morning and surgery went well. And it's like, people don't understand how we are all connected in donation, and being a recipient of donation affects all of us in some way, shape, or form. And so again, I just like to really highlight those that are connected to it during this month, because I think it's important. Right. And then this was National Blue and Green Day, where the entire strip turned blue and green for Blue and Green Day. So that's why we just wanted to play a part in it as well. And it was a little challenging because that wind was not friendly that night, but we made it work. So.
And we love the Nevada Donor Network. When Christina's here, right?
Yeah.
There's no pressure. She's just a woman that just wants to spread what it is that she's talking about, and allow someone to make a decision for what it is that they want to do. Might not be for everyone, but if you're there and you have any questions, it's wonderful that they do that, and we're a big fan of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not everybody agrees with donation, and that's perfectly fine. It's your choice. But this morning is a prime example why I will always spread the message, because one of my partners just got a heart transplant. He's alive because someone gave the ultimate gift of donation, and he wouldn't be alive if someone didn't give him that heart. And it's just, I know it's very hard to think about and morbid kind of, but ultimately he has a second chance at life now. So he has a son, he has a wife. Like, it's amazing to think he has a second chance at life. And if I was to die, like, I hope that I have the ability to give somebody else the second chance at life, and that I'll live on through them. And I don't know, it just goes deep, and it's a personal choice and a personal opinion. So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But that's mine. Trooper May played a big role in it, and that's why we just want to continue to highlight it.
Yeah, I feel the same. You know what I mean? Like, if not that you're not on the planet anymore, but if somebody can do something good, you know what I mean, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to talk about the fact of this is the only handle you use now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nevada State Police. You'll get our fatalities as well as all of our road closure updates statewide on our Nevada State Police Twitter handle.
And this was one of those people that drove into that impact thing, and
impact attenuator,
and that's the end of the game. I mean, and so we've seen it too many times. We don't know specifically. We're not talking about this. Mm-hmm. But, people, either not drive impaired, they need to slow down, they need to, get where they're going a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
Those, you might have a little bit of forgiveness in a car.
Exactly.
But you're not, but these things don't forgive.
The impact attenuators are in place too. Some of them are set up differently. Some are made of wood, some are made of steel, or I should say metal. But there's some that are also water or foam based. So as it crushes and goes deeper down, like a domino effect, like pop, 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 the foam will expand or the water will slow you down. And it's an impact attenuator because it's supposed to absorb your impact to hopefully save your life. Because if it's not there, you're going to go head on with a cement barrier, because that's the divider to separate an off ramp, an on ramp, whatever it's separating. So those impact attenuators are there to save your life. And unfortunately, though, sometimes when you're traveling at too fast of a speed or you hit it just right, it can't save your life. So to prevent any of that happening, you know, like you just said, slow down, give yourself enough time to make that decision. If you're like, oh, that's my exit, don't do it. It's not worth it. Just go to the next one and turn around, you know, because it's just not worth it.
We do live in a place where it's very easy to get on and very easy to get right back on again.
Yes.
Or sorry, it's easy to get off and then get right back on. You know, there's generally one traffic light or whatever, you know, may go up, make a left, and, you know, the extra 5 minutes isn't going to make a difference.
It's very rare that you can't just turn around at the next exit.
Yeah.
It's very rare.
Very rare. The top 2 leading causes of fatality in Nevada are speed and impairment. All right, let's see what we got here.
So that is a 9 series, if I'm not mistaken, 9, maybe 5 episode of her story, and she survived that crash. She was one of the people that were affected by that crash, and she actually works for Department of Public Safety. She works for us, and she works for she's a civilian side for Office of Traffic Safety in that division. So the lady you saw hugging her, her name is Kim Yoko Smith, and I just call her my better half because I couldn't do this position without Kim. She's actually our director's PIO, and she's like at the top PIO, so she helps me with everything. And you know, this individual, Tiffany, she only felt comfortable doing the interview if Kim was there, and I think that speaks volume of the kind of person Kim is and the comfort she brings to individuals that she has, you know, just met for the first time, and just her skill itself with the whole production of the segment. So I highly encourage people to go watch it. Her story is powerful, and that day is, you know, you've met Alex, the North Las Vegas PIO, Alex Cuevas. He was there on that scene. He had to talk about it. He had to do the interviews on it, and that was just traumatic for our entire community. 9 individuals lost their lives, and majority of them were children, and all because of the actions of one. You know, he was speeding and he was impaired. It's very, very selfish, and I'm not afraid to say that because that's what it was. He literally took a mother's children's from her, and, you know, the family, and it all could have been prevented. So anyway, the link was on there if you want to see Tiffany's story. It's kind of ironic because I didn't realize her last name was May. There's like, you know, Trooper May is like, that's not a very common last name, so it's interesting. But yeah, I highly encourage you to watch it.
And you know, when we talk about that, right? Civilian, fantastic, right? They work with you. So if somebody wants to be a civilian or stay a civilian, right? They can get a job with Nevada State Police.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And do great things for the city and great things for the state, and you know what I mean, and all that type of stuff. And, you know, again, 100 miles an hour on a city street with traffic lights, impaired. You know what I mean? Like enough is enough already.
It's disgusting.
We love Alex, too. He's fantastic.
Yeah,
You know
Alex
what
is
I'm saying?
great.
Trooper Woman, thanks so much. You know, it's, you know, we'll talk more as to the fact of, you know, getting into the summer and all that type of stuff and what people need to keep in the cars and stuff. Nevada State Police, right? Just
That's
go
right.
there and you know, talk to Officer Trooper McClarty and tell him, you know, we sent you over there and you need to join right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. We'll talk to you soon. All right.